TomoNews presents Animal Rescues.
Faith in humanity restored. This poor kitten in China got trapped behind a glass wall without food and water and was slowly dying. But luckily, a good Samaritan came to the rescue. Earlier this month, the cat somehow became stuck behind the wall in a building in the southwestern city of Chengdu. After a period reported to be 3 days, a karaoke receptionist saw the kitten. He looked around but realized there were no gaps available for him to pull the little guy out. So the receptionist called the building's property management office to ask for help. The building staff knew the glass wall was built between aluminum door frames and a load-bearing wall, so they dug out a tunnel to rescue the kitten. After the successful rescue, the receptionist decided to take the tired and hungry cat home and adopt it. However, despite the good news, we're still wondering exactly how did the kitten get trapped in the first place, and why it took 3 days for anyone to notice. Let us know in the comments if you got any bright ideas about that.
Hero dog rescues best friend from raging river rapids. Or does he? In an epic video uploaded on January 17th, a game of fetch between two dogs gets out of hand and looks like it could end badly. Two Labrador retrievers, a yellow and a black one, were playing fetch with their owner by what appears to be some pretty gnarly river rapids. When the stick got thrown a bit too far, the black lab bounded ahead as the yellow lab hung back. As he tried to gather himself, the black lab slipped, careening down the rocks with the relentless rapids threatening to sweep him away to death. Realizing his buddy was in serious danger, the yellow lab jumped into action, grabbing the stick and using every last bit of jaw strength in him to pull his buddy back in. Holding onto that stick for dear life, the yellow lab manages to yank his friend back onto the rocks to safety. What an awesome friend! And a hero. Or is he? Watch the video again. How dangerous do you think those raging river rapids really are, given that their owner seems fine to play fetch over there? And is that really rushing water, or just a creek with a cool stream? And does it look to you like the yellow lab is trying to rescue his friend, or just steal his stick and claim victory? After examining the replay, we here at TomoNews reverse our call. Seems that yellow lab's just a jerk going after his buddy's stick. Dogs might be man's best friend, but when it comes to each other, good luck.
The kiss of life. This pooch nearly died in a house fire, but was promptly brought back from the brink thanks to one firefighter's mouth-to-snout rescue. After coming home to find her Santa Monica apartment burning, a 35-year-old woman frantically asked firefighters to help save her pet dog, who was still trapped inside. As the blaze was contained, firefighter Alex Klein grabbed the dog, who had no pulse and wasn't breathing. Klein quickly performed CPR on the pup and gave him oxygen through a special mask. It took 20 minutes, but the lucky dog eventually came back to the land of the living. No other pets or humans were injured in the fire. The pup was transferred to a local animal hospital, but is now back on his paws, even swinging by the station to personally say thanks.
Washington State firefighters used tiny oxygen masks to rescue a family of hamsters. Firefighters in Washington State responding to a fire at a mobile home had their life-saving skills tested when they found 3 asphyxiated baby hamsters trapped inside. A woman in Olympia, Washington had apparently left her dryer on when she left her mobile home last Friday afternoon. Upon returning, she was shocked to see her house on fire and firefighters battling the blaze. Her children were at school at the time, but their pets were visible inside the burning house. "Help! Save us, please!" After they put out the fire, the firefighters discovered a family of 5 hamsters trapped in their cage next to a cute marriage certificate drawn in crayon. The father and mother were awake, but their babies weren't moving. Firefighters then turned to their pet emergency pocket guide and used makeshift oxygen masks and a plastic bag equipped with oxygen tubes to try to resuscitate the hamsters. 2 of the baby hamsters survived, Unfortunately, a third one died. The Lacey Fire District later tweeted these touching pictures of the rescue and cited the dryer as the preliminary cause of the fire.
Villagers save trapped baby elephant. This is the heartwarming moment a baby elephant is rescued from a well by villagers in India. Locals rallied to help the poor animal after it fell into the watery hole near their village. The elephant's mother kept the village up all night as she cried and trumpeted and refused to leave her calf. The baby elephant was making its way through the forest when it fell into the well. Even though she tried with all her might, the calf's mother just couldn't get her baby out. But the mommy elephant didn't give up on her calf. As other herd members waited nearby, the mother elephant cried and trumpeted for her baby. Fearful locals didn't get any sleep, worried the herd might go on a rampage. But that didn't happen thanks to the actions of some brave villagers. The villagers placed bamboo poles near the well to keep the herd at bay. They then lowered more poles into the hole to keep the baby elephant afloat. Forest officials used an earth mover to make a slope in the well, which allowed the calf to escape. The baby pachyderm then rejoined its mother, and the herd returned to the forest with a full complement of elephants. Sri Lankan Navy rescues stranded elephant. It's well known that elephants love water, but the Sri Lankan Navy got a jumbo-sized surprise last week when they saw this big fella swimming an incredible 9 miles from the shore. A mammoth rescue operation was launched last Tuesday when the elephant was spotted off Sri Lanka's northeast coast. According to conservationists, elephants are the best swimmers of any land mammal, well, other than trained human swimmers like Michael Phelps. But it seems like this particular pachyderm was washed out to sea in a riptide when it was crossing a lagoon that separates 2 large areas of jungle. Although it's not unusual for elephants to swim far from shore, this one looked like he was tired and in trouble. So it was lucky for him that he was spotted by a Navy patrol boat. Wildlife officials and 2 more Navy boats were quickly rushed to the area. A team of divers then tied ropes to the elephant, and it was dragged gently toward the shore. According to the Navy, their intervention was definitely needed. Even though elephants are great swimmers, the activity burns up a whole lot of energy. Plus, too much salt water is bad for their skin. It took around 12 hours for the rescue operation to be completed. The elephant was then handed over to wildlife officials for inspection. Let's have a round of applause for the Sri Lankan Navy. Great job, guys.
Indiana family go out of their way to save a buck.
Aren't they all fucked up looking? Poor guy, what the hell? He's all fucked up. He's pretty skinny. Pretty skinny.
That's sweet.
Okay. Well, come on, get him up there. I'd get him away from the river because he's just going to try to.
There you go. It's recording.
sweet.
Okay.
What kind of a person throws an animal off a bridge? A charter boat captain made an unexpected catch when he rescued a drowning cat off the coast of Florida last Thursday. 35-year-old Jordan Smith was piloting his boat near the northwest side of a bridge to pick up a group for a fishing trip. That's when Smith saw something fly off Marlar Bridge. He initially thought someone had thrown a bag of trash into the water, but when the object started moving, Smith then thought it was an otter. But once it started swimming in his direction, Jordan realized it was a cat that desperately needed help. Smith immediately scoops the black feline out of the water, not caring that his boat got scuffed up a bit after bumping into the bridge a couple times during the rescue. After being saved, the wet, poor feline reportedly clung tightly to Smith's arm until they were back to shore. Smith later contacted law enforcement, but the case is listed as inactive, as to be frank, there really isn't any solid evidence the cat was thrown off the bridge. But it seems pretty unlikely that the cat was just going for a swim, no? In a very happy ending, Captain Smith plans to adopt the kitty and wants to name her Miracle. Heroic ice skaters chop through thick ice to save moose stuck in frozen lake. A video uploaded to YouTube on Wednesday shows the nail-biting moment a group of ice skaters in Sweden risked their lives to rescue a moose that was trapped in a frozen lake. Victor Johansson and his partner Sigrid Schusten were skating on the lake when they spotted the moose. The couple returned with an axe and tried to rescue the exhausted animal by smashing through the thick layers of ice. The pair took turns pummeling the ice for 30 minutes straight. They eventually managed to clear a path for the moose to get to shore, and the animal clambered back onto land and disappeared into the woods. The video, which was uploaded last Wednesday by Johansson, has accumulated more than 500,000 views. This is why humans were put on the planet. We all need to be Earth keepers, said one commenter. Another said, faith in humanity restored.
Jag är trött. Yes. Så ja.
Pet owner breathes new life into his dying tortoise. What do you do when a pet is dying? Well, one pet owner in Gloucestershire, England, revived his drowning tortoise by giving the animal CPR for an hour. Pet owner John Fletcher was left shell-shocked when he found his 45-year-old tortoise, Freda, drowning in his garden pond on August 14th. Not ready to say goodbye to his beloved pet, Fletcher tried to revive Freda by giving her mouth-to-mouth CPR and stretching her head out a little. After a while, the pet owner saw water coming out of Freda's mouth and her legs began to twitch. He then used a hairdryer to warm Freda up and massaged her legs and back. Fletcher massaged Freda's chest repeatedly for an hour, and finally, the tortoise began gasping for air, then opened her eyes to let her owner know she was alive. After being saved, Freda is now back to her normal routine, strolling around and, just generally looking at things. Only now she'll be staring at a fence around the pond that Fletcher put up to protect her. According to a reptile store in the UK, tortoises can only float on water for a short amount of time. So peeps, keep an eye on your little friends. Heroic RSPCA dudes risk life and limb to save 2 lamb racks. The first question you'll ask yourself when watching this video is, how the hell did that stupid sheep get stuck on that tiny ledge in the first place? Was it sheer rambunctiousness, or was he 3 sheeps to the wind? Frankly, we'll never know. But the brave boyos of the Welsh branch of the RSPCA still had to abseil down the sheer rock face of Trefaun Mountain, Snowdonia, in freezing conditions to rescue the beast who'd been stuck there for several days. And this being Wales, it appears this is not an isolated incident, as there are 2 more videos of similar rescues on the Society's YouTube page. The heroic act took place earlier this month, and you'll be pleased to know that rather than feeling sheepish, the hungry creature began to feed almost immediately after being lowered down the cliff. All's wool that ends wool, it seems.